Support WrestleTalk!
Give us a subscribe.
Thank you for your awesome support on Patreon, Luke's favourite fan, the one, the only, the awesome Bubba. Hello and welcome to the WrestleTalk Mecha News. I'm Luke Owen. Press the thumbs up button and share this video with your friends and leave a comment down below to answer our question of the day. Are you a fan of WWE's new commentary lineup? We've got a packed show of news for you today, including Impact Wrestling's head of production leaving for All Elite Wrestling, Tony Khan addressing the AEW TV deal in the UK, and a potential disaster for SmackDown on Fox. You can jump to any of those stories by using the timestamps down below. And of course, give this channel a subscribe and help us rise like Oni Lorcan, who's just had Danny Burch shout out his name. With NXT moving to USA Network, AEW Dynamite starting next week, and SmackDown now airing on a Friday night, we've got so much content coming your way, and we want you to enjoy as much of it as possible. So give this channel a subscribe and enable notifications so you know when the next video goes live. And it's not just NXT, SmackDown, and AEW having big shows next week, not to mention Hell in a Cell next Sunday, as Raw also has its season premiere! With matches announced like Seth Rollins versus Rey Mysterio for the Universal Championship, Sasha Banks versus Alexa Bliss, and the Raw return of Brock Lesnar. Not only that, but it will also see the return of one of the biggest stars of WWE, who truly defined the company for decades. Pyro! And of course, it will also see the debut of WWE's new commentary lineup. It's been rumored for some time now that WWE was shaking up the commentary teams as SmackDown moves to being the A show over on Fox, even with some rumors they could return to the classic two-person booth. However, it would appear that is not the case, with WWE announcing yesterday the new commentary lineups. As expected, seen as though it's going to be the A show moving forward, the whole Raw team of Michael Cole, Corey Graves, and Renee Young are moving over to SmackDown, while the Red Brand will have 205 Live's Vic Joseph and Dio Madden, joined by Jerry the Burger King Lawler. Bloody hell, Burger King's gonna have to start watching the shows again. But maybe not for too long, as Ryan Satin is reporting on Pro Wrestling Sheet that Lawler will likely only be used for a short period of time on Raw, adding that he could be replaced by Mickie James, who made her debut on Main Event this week as a commentator. Hardcore commentary! And it's not just next week that's gonna be a big one for WWE, as the following week we're getting the 2019 draft, which will once again separate the Raw and SmackDown rosters. Oh, Shinsuke Nakamura, even Charlotte Flair's going over him. It's been reported that a few surprises might happen on both Raw and SmackDown when it comes to the draft, and one of those surprises might have been revealed, as PW Insider are reporting that John Hennigan has re-signed with WWE. The man of 1,001 names left WWE in 2011, where he was named John Morrison after being named Johnny Blaze and then Johnny Nitro. He wrestled on the local indie scene under his real name and had a stint in Lucha Underground as Johnny Mundo before going to Impact Wrestling as Johnny Impact. So maybe we'll get the WWE debut of Johnny Sports Entertainment. Johnny Pornhub left Impact Wrestling after Slammiversary when his contract expired. It was reported that he was set to focus on his acting career, and there was some speculation of an AEW role as he had a cameo in an episode of Being the Elite alongside his wife Taya Valkyrie. But Johnny Impact isn't the only person to have recently left Impact, and this person has gone to All Elite Wrestling. Following the news that Impact Wrestling's parent company Anthem had purchased access, which means Impact would air on the same channel as New Japan and Women of Wrestling, and the announcement this week they're moving to Tuesday nights to fill the SmackDown-shaped hole in a primetime position of 8 p.m, it was reported that Vice President of Production Kevin Sullivan, no not that one, had handed in his notice to Impact and would be heading to All Elite Wrestling. It was reported by Post Wrestling and SE Scoops that it wasn't just Kevin Sullivan, no, not that one, as several of his employees through Kevin Sully TV are also heading over to AEW to head up their production ahead of Dynamite's launch next week. It was initially reported as an AEW raid of Impact. However, it's since come out that KSTV were trying to secure a new long-term deal with Anthem, but a contract never materialized. This left the door open for All Elite Wrestling to sign the services of KSTV, leaving Impact without editors, graphic designers, sound engineers, video producers, voiceover voiceover studios, and more. SE Scoop sources have added this was a huge strategic move by AEW, and it's been crippling to Impact ahead of their debut on Access on October 29th. SE Scoops also added there is a slight hint of irony to this story, as when Anthem purchased Access, they fired many members of their production staff in Dallas and Colorado. They write, many very talented production people were pushed out of their jobs. Now, Impact finds itself badly in need of very talented production people. Speaking of that wrestling war, and the Wednesday Night War kicks off officially next week as NXT moves fully to the USA Network and AEW Dynamite debuts on TNT. AEW have got a big show planned, with Nyla Rose versus Riho for the AEW Women's Championship, The Elite versus Le Champion Chris Jericho, and 2 CM Punks to AEW confirmed, Hangman Page versus Pac, and more, while NXT have loaded their show with several championship matches, including Adam Cole versus Matt Riddle for the NXT Championship, Shayna Baszler versus Candice LeRae for the NXT Women's Championship, and Street Profits versus Undisputed Era for the tag team titles, with Dave Meltzer reporting via Wrestling Observer Radio that another title match could be announced, which could be Kushida versus Walter for the United Kingdom Championship, or Lio Rush versus Drew Gulak for the Cruiserweight title. But remember, they do not see AEW as competition. Last week, NXT debuted to a really solid number of 1.179 million viewers, and this week's show again stayed over the 1 million mark, but dropped slightly to 1.006, which is about half of an average episode of SmackDown Live. WWE came under fire this week here in the UK when it was announced by Southside Wrestling, another UK-based wrestling company shutting its doors, that their final show has had all of its WWE talent, including Joseph Connors, El Ligero, Kaylee Ray, Zia Brookside, and Ilya Dragunov, have been pulled from the event, even though WWE had agreed to let them work the show. Southside posted a statement on social media saying, "We asked permission in advance and accepted all conditions. We have spent a small fortune on posters, flyers, banners for the show, which are now unusable. Although this is business, we have taken this badly. This was our goodbye, and we wanted to say it with the stars who made us what we are, our previous champions, and most importantly, our close friends." However, seeing an opportunity to play the White Knight in this situation, AEW's Cody Rhodes posted on Twitter yesterday, "Let me see if I can help." Can't imagine why he wants some good PR here in the UK. And speaking of trying to get good PR in the UK, it was a rough day for AEW here in the United Kingdom, with ITV announcing that Dynamite will air on their channels, but it will be on at 8:20 AM on a Sunday morning, 4 days after the show airs in the US and 1 day after pay-per-views, and an edited 1 hour long version on Monday night at quarter to midnight. It's incredibly disappointing, considering that Cody and Tony promised earlier this year that their UK deal would be better than WWE's. It sparked an outrage from UK fans, who also didn't like the alternative option that you can watch the show live and unedited on Fight for $5 a month. It's especially disappointing, as Dave Meltzer noted on Wrestling Observer Radio, that he was hearing from UK advertisers that the deal was in place for Dynamite to air live on ITV4, but it was changed by ITV at the last minute. The reported reason for Dynamite not airing live is down to advertisements. In the US, TNT will air 16 minutes of commercials an hour, while here in the UK, you're only allowed to air 12. But as Ollie pointed out on yesterday's news, that doesn't really hold water, as you can simply air channel bumpers and promos in those other 4 minutes, which was also pointed out by Will Cooling, a British wrestling reporter who has done a lot of work for the Wrestling Observer. And AEW's Tony Khan has replied to Cooling's report, saying that a better deal will come soon. He said, "We want the program to broadcast free to air ASAP. I'm still talking with ITV about airing sooner, hopefully Thursday. It's important to us to do a great free-to-air wrestling show for UK fans. ITV is the best TV partner in the UK. They have great reach, great content, and most importantly to me, they're kind people. I enjoy working with them. It's a coup to bring the UK great weekly wrestling free-to-air on ITV. Now I'm trying to get it on sooner in the week. We've been working on it. We weren't planning to announce at all yesterday until a very nice gentleman from the ITV office got got too excited and tweeted incomplete information about Sunday and Monday broadcast already scheduled. I still expect a sooner broadcast, but glad we have these as well. This ties into Meltzer's report from Wrestling Observer Radio, where he noted that he was told Dynamite was also going to air on a Friday night on ITV in a good time slot. It's since been reported that ITV's schedule for AEW could change following Full Gear in November. And it's not just AEW who were dealt a TV blow, as Deadline reported yesterday that Dish is set to stop carrying Fox, the soon-to-be home of Friday Night SmackDown. This means that Fox, and crucially Friday Night SmackDown, will be unavailable in approximately 12 million homes across 17 US territories, including wrestling hotbeds like Chicago, Charlotte, Atlanta, Dallas, Houston, Los Angeles, and WWE's home turf of New York. Not only that, but millions more who subscribe to Fox via Sling TV will also lose SmackDown. It's basically become a mudslinging contest, with Fox launching a new website, keepfox.com, which says Dish is at it again, choosing to drop leading programming as a negotiating tactic regardless of the impact on its own customers. Dish elected to drop Fox networks in an effort to coerce us to agree to outrageous demands. Dish, on the other hand, have said in a statement that Fox have taken profoundly anti-consumer actions, saying Fox is demanding a double-digit percentage rate increase for continued carriage of its local channels. Fox is also attempting to force bundle its local channels and unrelated cable networks to get more money and gain negotiating leverage. Business, business, business. This is quite a blow to Fox and WWE, who are hoping their Friday Night SmackDown show will become their new A show. Front-loading the season premiere with Brock Lesnar versus Kofi Kingston for the WWE Championship, a tag match featuring the Horsewomen, and Shane McMahon versus Kevin Owens in a ladder match with their careers on the line, as well as rumored appearances from The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin. So much of a blow is this that WWE themselves have joined the hashtag #KeepFoxOnDish campaign, tweeting out, "Attention Dish customers, Dish took Fox, FS1 and more off your channel lineup. Don't miss the premiere of Friday Night SmackDown on Fox. Visit keepfox.com to find another provider today." You can hear Ollie Davis's report of the AEW TV balls up here in the UK, as well as Laurie Blake's review of this week's NXT by clicking the video on screen right now. And you can watch Ollie and Laurie cover Batman casting rumors and how they could tie into the new Joker movie by checking out our awesome video game and movie channel Screen Stalker. I've been Luke Owen, and that was Mecha Wrestling.